You didn't end up here by accident. You were chosen for this life long before you were born, and yet you forgot, not because you were careless, not because your soul was weak, but because forgetting was part of the design. You see, when your soul chose to descend into this reality, it accepted the veil that separates memory from instinct, spirit from body, divine wisdom from everyday noise. And behind that veil are fragments of who you were before. The truth of why you came, and the echoes of a mission too ancient for words. Look around you. Have you ever wondered why certain moments in your life felt rehearsed? Why some people enter your world like forgotten characters from a story you once knew? It's because your soul didn't forget everything. It left behind clues, trails of light, symbols, synchronicities, a soft whisper in the middle of chaos saying, "Wake up." This was never a coincidence, and yet, here we are. Living in a world that tells you you're random, you're flawed, you're just a body. They feed you distraction, programming, fear, so you stay asleep. Because if you remembered who you were, if you remembered why you came, you would no longer obey their illusions. You would rise. The truth is, before this lifetime, your soul was in council, with beings of light, with fragments of Source itself. You looked down at Earth. You saw what was coming, the pain, the disconnection, the illusion, and you said, "I will go," not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. You saw the suffering of your lineage. You saw the karmic knots passed down for generations. You saw entire bloodlines trapped in silence and shame, and you said, "Let it end with me." This life, this incarnation, is not your punishment. It is your initiation, but they made you forget. So you'd have to remember from the inside out. That's the point. Your awakening had to be felt, not taught. It had to come through the ache in your chest, choke, the moment when life collapses, the moment when everything you thought was true begins to dissolve. Because only then does the soul speak. And maybe that's where you are now. Maybe that's why you're watching this, not to learn something new, but to remember something ancient. The chills you feel, the tears that rise without reason, the feeling that you've heard this before. It's not emotion, it's recognition. Recognition that your path was never a mistake, that your struggles were never random, that every heartbreak, loss, and breakdown were coded into your journey as sacred keys. Keys to awaken the part of you that knew this all along. And now, you stand at the edge between forgetfulness and remembrance, between who they told you you are and who your soul came to become. You can feel it, can't you? Something shifting in your body, your breath slowing down, a quiet certainty growing beneath your skin that this is not just a video, it's a mirror reflecting the part of you that never forgot. And now that part is waking up. Breathe. Feel your body right now. Notice how every word stirs something that was dormant. That's your soul, not learning, but remembering. You didn't find this message by scrolling. Your soul pulled it in. Because it's time to cross the veil, time to trace the ancient contract you made, time to reclaim the reason you came here. And it starts, not with answers, but with the courage to ask the question, what if everything I forgot is already inside me? Shall we keep going? The veil you were born under was never meant to last forever. It was woven like silk, soft, subtle, but strong enough to blur your memory, a fog between lifetimes, not to punish you, but to protect you. Because the full truth, the vastness of who you are would have overwhelmed your human heart if revealed too soon. So life, your life, was designed to give you hints, not all at once, but drop by drop, moment by moment. That's why awakening never comes in a straight line. It begins with confusion, loss, a sense of being misplaced in your own world. Maybe you felt it, the weight of everything you couldn't explain. The longing that keeps returning, no matter how full your life appears. That is the soul whispering. The human experience is a slow unraveling, a remembering through contrast. You had to feel lost so you could recognize truth when it arrives. You had to believe in separation so you could return to oneness with devotion. Even the pain was part of the plan, because pain softens the ego. It opens cracks where the light can enter, and in those cracks, memories slip through. Have you noticed the dreams? The ones that feel more real than waking life? where you meet people you've never seen, but instantly trust. That's not imagination. That's remembrance. Your dreams are not random scenes. They are echoes from before. Sometimes they show you the life you once lived. Other times the life you were meant to live before you forgot. And still the world will call you crazy. They will say it's just a dream. It's just your imagination. Get your head out of the clouds. But the truth is, your soul lives in those clouds. In symbols, in synchronicities, in the way a stranger says the exact words you needed, or a song plays right as your heart was asking for a sign. Do you really think that's chance? There are no coincidences for the awakened. Every encounter, every delay, every detour was perfectly placed to awaken the memory inside you. But here's the secret they never told you. The veil is not lifted for you. It is lifted by you. With every choice to trust your intuition, with every breath taken in presence, with every truth you speak, even if your voice shakes, the veil begins to tear. And as it tears, you see with new eyes. You start remembering that this life was never about fitting in. It was about activating. Activating the codes you've carried across lifetimes. Wisdom passed from incarnation to incarnation, hidden not in books, but in your soul's vibration. You are not here to conform. You are here to remember your own frequency, your own mission, your own divine madness that doesn't fit into this world, because this world is a dream in itself, a dream where most have forgotten their dreaming. But you're starting to wake up. And waking up isn't always beautiful. Sometimes it's raw, it's lonely, it's terrifying, because the more you remember, the less you belong to the illusions. But the truth is, you never belonged here. You came to shift it, to be the light in the room of sleepers, to speak what others are afraid to say. And when you do that, you begin to notice something miraculous. The dream starts changing, not just for you, but for everyone you touch. You break your own veil, and suddenly others begin to see through theirs too. You remembering is a permission slip for others to do the same. That is how the shift begins, not through force, but through remembrance. So if you've been feeling out of place, if you've been craving something you can't name, if your tears fall without logic, congratulations, the veil is thinning, and beneath it, your soul is waiting for you to stop searching out there and start listening in here. Because it's not about learning more, it's about remembering what you already knew before the forgetting began. There are clues everywhere, but only those who slow down begin to see them. You've probably felt it before. A moment when time stops. A stranger looks into your eyes, and it feels like a reunion. A book falls from a shelf, open to the exact page your soul needed. A symbol appears again and again, until you know it's not random. These are not accidents. They are activations, small sacred keys placed in the physical world to unlock the spiritual one. You've crossed these signs before, but maybe you didn't recognize them, not because you were blind, but because you were still asleep. But now, you're beginning to notice that number you keep seeing, that dream that won't leave you alone, that gut feeling you ignored but couldn't shake. They were all messages. This reality, what you call life, is built like a dream language. The universe speaks in metaphor. The soul speaks in rhythm. It doesn't shout. It whispers, and it repeats again and again until the veil cracks. Why do certain places feel familiar when you've never been there? Why do some people carry an energy so ancient it brings you to tears? Why do children sometimes speak of the time before they were born, as if it's the most natural thing in the world? Because the truth is, your soul remembers everything. You just stopped listening. So let's go even deeper. You didn't choose your name by accident. Your birth date, your location, even your family line. They're not random placements. They're coordinates, vibrational codes. You were placed where your soul would face exactly what it needed, to awaken exactly what it carried. Your trauma was not a punishment. Your heartbreak wasn't a failure. They were pressure points, experiences designed to shake the amnesia loose. Like thunder waking you in the middle of the night, they arrive to pull your soul out of forgetting. And that's why many who awaken first fall apart. Because remembering often feels like dying. Dying to the false self, dying to the mask you wore, dying to the life built from other people's expectations. But here's the paradox. You're not becoming someone new. You're returning to someone ancient. The you before the world told you who to be. That's why healing doesn't always look beautiful. It's messy. It's lonely. It's sacred. It means saying no to what used to define you and yes to what terrifies you in its honesty. The job that never aligned, the relationship that drained you, the belief that kept you small, they all begin to dissolve, not because you're broken, but because you're no longer vibrating at the frequency of forgetting. You are shifting, and the universe responds. Suddenly, people fall away. Synchronicities increase. Old dreams return. It's not magic. It's memory. The memory of your soul pulling the strings behind the curtain, guiding your steps back to yourself. And sometimes the biggest clue is the pain that keeps returning. Because pain is sacred feedback, not a curse, but a compass. It points to the places where the soul's light has been dimmed. It shows where you've betrayed yourself to belong, where you've silenced your truth to stay safe. Every ache, every contraction, every longing is your soul saying, "Here." This is where we begin. So the question is not, why is this happening to me? The real question is, what is this trying to awaken in me? Because once you ask that, the veil begins to lift. And when you finally stop looking outside and turn inward, you'll begin to see what's been there all along. You are not lost. You are not late. You are not broken. You are remembering. One sign at a time, one tear at a time, one sacred breath at a time. Before your soul entered this life, there was an agreement, not written in ink but carved in light. You didn't come here by force. You came by choice. And with that choice came a deal, a contract between you and the universe itself. But here's the part no one tells you. You weren't promised comfort. You weren't promised safety. You were promised the exact experiences your soul needed to grow. And sometimes, growth looks like loss. Sometimes it looks like betrayal, silence, darkness. Not because you failed, but because you agreed to walk through the fire, to remember the flame within you. Think about that for a moment. How many times in your life did everything fall apart, only to reveal a deeper version of yourself? How many times did the world push you to the edge, just so you'd find wings you forgot you had? That's the nature of the soul's agreement. It's not an escape from pain, it's a path through it. And somewhere along that path, you forget there ever was a contract. You think life is happening to you. You think you're being punished. You think you're alone, but you're not. You're simply walking the very road you agreed to, before time had a name. This is why certain patterns keep repeating, why some lessons return over and over again, because your soul signed up for them, not to suffer, but to transmute. You are not here to avoid darkness. You are here to turn it into gold. And every time you do, you fulfill a piece of the deal. The problem is, we've been taught to run from discomfort, run from uncertainty, run from the voice inside that calls us higher. But that voice is the voice of your own soul, and ignoring it only makes the lessons louder. So what if, instead of resisting the pain, you welcomed it? What if you said, "I remember, I chose this. I'm not a victim of my story. I'm the author of it." Because you are. You wrote the scenes. You cast the characters. You even designed the plot twists. And somewhere deep down, you knew the exact pain that would shape your strength. Now, it's time to honor the deal. And honoring it doesn't mean being perfect or always knowing the way. It means waking up, choosing presence and saying yes to your own becoming. It means breaking ancestral patterns, even when it hurts. It means speaking the truth, even when your voice shakes. It means loving yourself, even when the world doesn't understand. That's what courage looks like, in a soul who remembers. And here's the magic. Every time you take one step in alignment, the universe moves 10 steps toward you. Doors open, energy shifts, the world rearranges itself. Because when you honor the deal, life begins to honor you. You meet people who speak your soul's language. You find messages in the wind. You walk into rooms and feel like you've been there before, because you have. The contract was always there, beneath the surface, beneath the noise, waiting for you to remember. And now you are. That heavy feeling in your chest, that subtle pull you can't explain, that strange certainty that something sacred is unfolding. It's the contract stirring. It's your soul saying, yes, this is the moment we came for. So what happens now? Now, you begin to walk on purpose, not just to survive, but to fulfill, not just to exist, but to embody what you came to be. The veil has lifted just enough out for you to see the next step, and it's yours to take, with trembling hands, with an open heart, with ancient memory rising in your bones. This is the path. You don't need to know where it ends. You only need to trust where it begins. There's something most people never realize. Your mission, the real reason you came here, is hidden inside the pain you tried to avoid, not outside it, not after it, inside it. Your greatest calling is always buried beneath your greatest wound. Why? Because pain carves space. And in that space, the light of your soul can finally shine through. You were never meant to stay broken. You were meant to break open to what was always there. Think back to your darkest moments, the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the years of silence or confusion. Now ask yourself, what awakened in you because of those moments? Maybe it was compassion. Maybe it was your voice. Maybe it was the courage to walk away from what never truly saw you. Whatever it was, that's the seed of your purpose. But here's the paradox. The wound is not the purpose. The alchemy is. It's not about being defined by your pain. It's about transforming it into something only you can offer. And that's the sacred irony. You came here with gifts so ancient, they had to be buried deep in your human experience. Not because the universe wanted to hide them, but because the process of digging them out was part of becoming them. Let that land, because this is where many souls get stuck. They wait for healing to feel complete before they begin. But the mission doesn't wait. It lives in the raw, it breathes in the in-between. It whispers, use what you have, even if your hands are shaking, because someone out there is praying for a light you carry in your scars. Your wounds are holy. Not because they were fair, not because they were easy, but because they were transformational. They humbled your ego and revealed your essence. And that essence, that's what you came to share. Some of the most powerful healers on this earth never studied healing. They lived it, they bled, they grieved, they rose from their own ashes, and now they shine not because they were untouched, but because they were forged. So maybe that's you. Maybe you've walked through fires that others can't see, carried storms in silence, felt lifetimes of grief in a single breath, and yet you're still here, still breathing, still searching, still remembering. That's not weakness, that's mission memory. Your soul doesn't measure success by how perfect your life looks. It measures it by how honest you're willing to be. Can you turn toward the pain and ask it what it came to teach? Can you hold your own heart without rushing to fix it? Because inside those moments, your mission starts to crystallize. You are not here to be everything to everyone. You are here to be you, and the you behind the masks is luminous. That version of you knows you were never meant to live asleep. You were never meant to shrink. You were meant to radiate something only your soul can remember. And maybe that's not flashy, maybe it's not loud, maybe it's a quiet presence that heals the air in a room. Maybe it's the words you speak to a child, or the art you make in secret, or the truth you whisper when no one's watching. It doesn't have to be grand, it has to be real, because every soul that honors its pain awakens its light, and that light ripples through time, through bloodlines, through dimensions unseen, until one day, another soul hears your story and feels less alone, and that is how the veil thins for all of us. One remembrance at a time, one brave heart at a time. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for the pain to disappear. Start where you are, with what you know, with the fire that never quite went out, because this is your moment to choose. Will you run from the pain, or will you ask it what it's trying to awaken? If you've made it this far, you're not just curious. You're remembering, and once the soul begins to remember, life can never be the same because the illusions don't hold the same weight. The distractions lose their taste, and what once felt urgent suddenly feels empty. That's how awakening begins, not with firework, but with a quiet shift inside, a subtle, undeniable knowing, I'm not who they told me I was. And maybe you can't explain it. Maybe no one around you understands. Maybe you feel like you're walking between two worlds. That's because you are. The old world is fading, and the new one is being born inside you. But here's the sacred truth. You are not here to escape the world. You are here to recode it with your energy, your presence, your frequency. Every time you choose truth over comfort, intuition over logic, alignment over approval, you ripple that frequency outward. You change timelines. You interrupt patterns. You light torches others didn't even know they were carrying. That's how souls lead, not with noise but with remembrance. So what does it mean to remember? It means waking up in the middle of your ordinary life and realizing it was never ordinary. It means hearing a word, feeling a scent, seeing a symbol, and knowing, I've been here before. It means choosing to walk with your soul in the room, even if the world still believes in masks. It means making space for silence, so you can hear the parts of you that speak in stars. It means surrendering control and trusting that the map is written in your bones. And here's the beauty. The more you remember, the less fear can touch you, because you start to see the divine choreography in every loss, every delay, every closed door. You realize your life wasn't a mess. It was a masterpiece, unraveling itself from the inside out. You begin to forgive yourself for not knowing sooner, for dimming your light, for abandoning your truth to be loved. And in that forgiveness, you return home. Home is not a place, it's a frequency. It's the vibration of living as who you came here to be, unmasked, unedited, unapologetically ancient. So now, dear soul, what do you do with all this? You live it. You let your life become the ritual. You let your words become the medicine. You let your presence become the reminder that we are not lost, we are not broken, we are just remembering. And sometimes the most sacred work you'll do is simply to exist in alignment, to drink your tea with presence, to walk barefoot on the earth, to look into another's eyes and truly see them. That's how new worlds are born, from awakened souls, doing ordinary things with extraordinary awareness. So take a breath. Feel how your body holds the echo of 1,000 lifetimes. Feel how your heart still beats with the rhythm of the stars. And remember, you chose this life. You made a deal. You walked through the veil, and now you're walking yourself back to truth, not just for you, but for all of us, because one soul who remembers lights the way for many who are still asleep. So if you've been asking for a sign, this is it. Your soul is ancient. Your purpose is alive. Your remembering is sacred. And it begins now. Reflect on this. If everything you were seeking outside was actually encoded within you, would you be willing to go inward? Leave a comment below and share what this awakened in you. You're not alone anymore.